Hi! I decided to record a short introduction for this video because the video is not so short. It's not so short because I cover many different aspects that are all connected to what's happening, and so basically I start with the physical aspect of why we are so tired, why we can have all these different kinds of discomfort, being headaches or other things, and then I start talking about how to deal with this. Where the different reasons where it's coming from, and I connect a lot of different dots, and you will see that in the comments or in the description I will be adding some links, or I will be posting these links in the intuitiv.me Facebook group, where you can find more in-depth information about certain aspects that I'm describing. Because if I would have gone in depth on all the aspects I described, oh boy, it would be a 5 to 10 hour video, and maybe even then would not be enough. So relax, sit down and listen. There's only 1 or 2 moments in this video where we're sharing something on the screen. For the rest, you can just close your eyes and listen. And you do not need to remember everything. Whatever you need to know, you will absorb and it will stay with you. Even if at the end of the video you don't remember anything, it's fine. Your body, your system will remember it. And when the moment comes for you to act in a certain way, you will remember. You will know what to do. You may not remember that I said it in the video or that you picked it up somewhere else. You will just know, like, hey, this is what I need to do now. So enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, and share. This is the video that I promised. Actually, I asked if you were interested, and I got response from people who said they wanted. Some people put questions, some people shared with me their experiences, and I even got some people who shared with me their insights. So I want to bundle all of this in this video, and I haven't yet decided on the title, so yeah, it will come at the end of the video probably. And this is a video where I'm almost not prepared. I just wrote down the few things that people shared with me that I felt like I need to address. So they're in front of me on the screen, and basically that's it. I'm going to do this very intuitively. I felt at a certain moment maybe that I will include a meditation. This meditation will help you to deal more smoothly with what's happening now, with the energy fluctuations, or maybe just with the extreme heaviness you're feeling or the extreme exhaustion that you're feeling. So I mean, there are a lot of kinds of discomfort. Maybe you feel the whole day like itching everywhere. It's everything is itching. Or that you really feel the need to drink a lot of water. Oh. Or you have excessive headaches. Well, excessive headaches can come from dehydration. So if it's summer where you are now, or you have been eating a lot of salty food, you may want to drink. But in general, I recommend people to stay well hydrated. But at this moment, I urge you to be well hydrated. Meaning, drink at least 50%, but probably double of what you used to drink per day. I'm talking water, not beer, because beer is basically dehydrating, and that's why you need to drink more of it, or you want to drink more of it. There's some substances in it, so they're tricking you. So it's not good for the thirst. And also sweet drinks. Yes, you may need the sugar, but you can eat something sweet if you really need the sugar. You can eat cookies, bread, whatever you need if you feel the need for carbohydrates. but drink a lot of simple water. And yeah, you may need to go to the bathroom more often. Fine, that is cleansing, that is filtering your system. You need that too. So, okay, apparently we're starting with this. So, listen to your body when it comes to nutrition. So your body will tell you what you really need, not what you think you need. Your body will tell you, like, now I need sweet, or now I need bread or pasta or rice or something. Okay, then eat it. And then your body will say, okay, had enough. Now I want raw vegetables. Get out and get raw vegetables. Then your body says, I really need fruit. Yes, you need fresh fruit. If you're living in the northern hemisphere, then it's a high chance you can find watermelon now, the red ones. I know in different countries there are different names. Romania is pepena, in other countries they call it watermelon, but then you need to specify in certain countries it's red watermelon. So it's green on the outside, red on the inside. And generally, the bigger they are, the more ripe they are. When you buy the small ones, they will be not so tasty, or maybe even tasting badly. But they need to be the big ones, and then maybe you can buy half. And if you cannot, then just take the biggest you can find and share it with someone. Buy it together with someone. But for example, if I buy an 11 kilo watermelon, which is 22 pounds, more or less, it lasts me a few days because I'll be eating a lot. I put it in boxes of 1.5 liter after cutting it in pieces, and I can easily finish one box on an evening, which means that I have to go to the bathroom a lot, but it's cleansing and there's a lot of fibers in it, and it's very good for your blood pressure, blood sugar, a lot of things, diabetes too, and plenty of benefits, and vitamins of course you're getting. But the thing is, it helps you to cleanse. It also helps you to cleanse your guts, your intestines. And then what I do with the outer part is that I cut that out as well, so what's close to the white, and I mix that with the seeds, or the part also that's around the seeds, which sometimes is not so tasty, and I blend it. I add lemon, so it's half a lemon for close to 1 liter, and then I add dried mint. If you have fresh mint, even better. I blend it all. You can add sunflower seeds that you also blend. You can add psyllium if you want, and I put that in bottles, like half liter bottles, something like that. And these are bottles that I can use in the morning or in the afternoon, and I just get my juice. So I also freeze them because I create multiple bottles from one big watermelon. And then that's all the parts that are not so tasty to eat like this, because the real good part of the watermelon is very tasty, very sweet. It's generous when it comes to taste, but also to texture, and it's like almost cracking in your mouth. You can hear that sound, and there's a lot of water coming out of it. So some of you may be like, oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, the shop's already closed. I would love to buy one now. Yeah, well, go tomorrow. Put it in your agenda. Don't forget it. So you may feel like, okay, now I need sweet. Now I need salty. And like, what's happened? Yes, and I'm literally taking a salty thing and then a sweet thing. That's happening to you now. Then that's what your body needs. And I will explain in a minute why. But despite all these things, try to focus on drinking enough and eating a lot of raw food, raw vegetables. Make your own salad. Take some vegetables, cut them in pieces, throw them together, add a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of vinegar. You can make your own kombucha vinegar. If I won't forget, actually I will write down that I will add link, kombucha. It's on my website. You can also just go to tips and tools, live healthier, you will find kombucha. Make sure you get a lot of fibers, because all the raw stuff will help you, and the fibers will help you to really cleanse yourself. For those of you who eat a lot of meat, especially red meat, you're accumulating red meat in your guts. It's staying in your belly, literally, undigested, and it's accumulating. Eating daily raw vegetables will help you clean that out. You will lose weight. the size of your belly will decrease, and you're not losing fat even yet. But yeah, you will start to lose fat, because when you start to eat a lot of raw vegetables, you will start automatically burn your fat, because your body still needs energy. So you will realize that you will get fitter. Yes, you will get fitter when you eat mostly raw vegetables and drink a lot of water. Fitter means it will be easier for you to move. So automatically you will build more muscle, you will start to burn more calories, so you will start to lose even more weight, you will start to get even fitter again. So it's like a snowball effect. By doing this last year, I lost 7-8 kilos in 2-3 months. And I didn't force anything. I tried to force intermittent fasting for 2 days, didn't work, so I let it go, and then before I knew it, within a week I was intermittent fasting, which also can find in the tips and tools, Live Healthier. You can find it there. And basically it means I do not eat for 12 to 16 hours per day, including the period I sleep. And it started to give me more energy. Only start the morning with a glass of water with a half lemon squeezed in it. Which, by the way, is the only fruit that I squeeze. All the other fruits, if I blend it with the meat of the fruit. So to have the fibers, that's very important. When you take juices, you need to have the fibers, not added fibers on top of some fake orange juice, because that's just a sugar bomb and it's gonna kill you. Slowly, but it will kill you. So basically, it comes back all to living more natural, closer to earth, closer to nature life. Try to get out, get fresh air, go to the park, try to exercise, and exercising can be just a walk for an hour, or an hour and a half, or 2 hours. Yes, you can take a break or two, or just sit for a moment at the water, watch the ducks or the seagulls or whatever you have there. But try to get out, have your physical movement, have the change of scenery, and make sure you nurture your body. Make sure your nutrition is good. So, why all this? Well, you know that in 2012 we crossed the border of a certain zone in space. I mean, the solar system, actually the whole galaxy crossed a certain borderline. And that was when we went into, slowly, gradually, into a higher vibration area, which meant that a lot of people started to awaken more than before. And as we are moving further into the high frequency area, and we're just at the beginning, more and more people will start to awaken. And you see that around you. More people go into spirituality, start doing yoga, start meditating, start asking questions in general. But it's not about being a hippie or whatever. No, it's about becoming more aware. More people are questioning what's happening in the world. When they look at politics, when they look at social distancing, having to wear masks because a flu virus is suddenly so dangerous, while some of you may not have been sick for years, didn't even have the flu for many years, so why would I suddenly die from the flu today? There are a lot of these things that people start questioning. It's not about conspiracy theories, it's just about like, okay, what's real? What's really happening? And all this is happening because of the raise of the vibration. Things we used to accept before, or we used to think they were normal, we're now like, is it really? Do I really want that? And so you saw a transformation when it came to your awareness, who you are, to what you like to do, what you love, what resonates with you, what doesn't, the people you start to interact with. A lot of you started to see their group of friends changing. For example, I let go a few times in my life, but Around 2012 became very clear. I started to let go again of a lot of my friends who didn't resonate with me anymore because my frequency started to change. It changed a lot. And then I met new people, and with these people I'm more on the same frequency. So these became my closer friends. And other people who didn't evolve, I can talk with them about superficial stuff, but not something that really interests me anymore. Except for my hobby, for example, which is aviation or so, but a lot of things politics, for me, all politicians, or let's say the majority of politicians, are just lying bastards who want power, who want to make some extra money, and they're just, manipulating everything just to stay on top or to get on top. Yeah, maybe when they were young, they were ideologists, but so for me, politics is, it's like watching a soap series, which I don't do because they're boring. To me, they're boring. Game of Thrones, boring to me. It's all about darkness, greed, egoism. Basically all the dark energies. If you're attracted to that, fine, but then you're probably already not watching this video anymore. You already stopped at whatever point. So we saw all these transformations, and we saw people jumping on the gene keys, jumping on Puchigongs, jumping on the I Ching, jumping on a lot of old and new science knowledge. Some are a mix of the two, of the old and the new. And people started to look at all those tools to try to understand themselves. Like, what is happening in my life, and what do I really want with my life? There's also a question. Okay, I've been doing this now for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, but what do I really want? And you may notice that people of all ages are asking themselves this question, or even asking you that question, like, what is it you really want? These people are not having these superficial conversations with you anymore. Why? Because things are changing. And the last thing, or at least the second thing, maybe it's the second thing. Don't pin me on that. But the second thing that can start to evolve is the physical, is the body. After you have the mental change, emotional change, so it's not the second, you see. You have the spiritual change, maybe even personality, because it's influenced by all these. Then the body comes. And now we're in a phase where the body is literally being shaken up and is transforming again. Yes, we are genetically mutating already for a long time, probably since our existence, but now that we have the tools, scientists have seen it. We are mutating. But this happens to most species. Most species are mutating at a certain point. But to us it's happening now. It's not in the mainstream media because they're not ordered to publish this. Because they're not ordered, or actually they're ordered not to publish everything that has to do with us evolving, with us stepping out of the old system. Because the old system is the system that is still trying to hold on to the power now, which is the one controlling the media, controlling the politicians, trying to control the world, is the one igniting all the wars everywhere to be able to get some more control over certain areas, over certain resources and stuff like that. So you may not have heard about it in the media, but if you would do some extensive research, you will find articles, I'm sure, where they talk about how we are physically mutating. And these changes, they're not just that we're genetically mutating, but also the frequency on which our body is working is changing. And I forgot to check the Schumann resonance. So this is changing as well. And that's why we feel so tired. And then we can decide to sleep. 12-hour night. I wake up and we're still like, shit, but I slept for 12 bloody hours. That's 4 or maybe even 6 hours more than usual. Well, it's not about sleep. It's about resting your body. So for example, not last night, but the night before, I went to sleep at 8 o'clock in the morning. But during the day I was so tired I could barely do anything. So at 2 o'clock I just crashed on the sofa. I didn't sleep, but I didn't sleep till 8 o'clock in the morning. But I started to feel better around 2 o'clock or so in the morning. Because then my body had finished whatever it was doing, so I had energy again. So I was just feeling fine. But before that I also had headache that didn't want to stop, and I was like, yeah, but was it because I ate too much garlic, so I got dehydrated, so I kept drinking water, didn't help. There was nothing I could do. I could only listen to my body like, okay, rest. So I didn't have a long walk that day as well. Like, no energy. My body was telling me, no, you were not going out for a walk. Yes, you went to the office and back, but not going for a long walk. No way. But today I could have a nice walk. I had the energy. But then yesterday I also had a period where I was feeling great, and then suddenly I was tired again, and then I was feeling okay again, and I was tired again. It keeps going like this. And so the only thing you can do is listen to it. But I'm telling you all this because I want you to understand what's happening, because generally when we understand what's happening, like, okay, now I know. And it's not just me saying this. I mean, this is information I got from different sources, and also from my higher self. I felt, so I'm just sharing with you. And it all makes sense. When I started to connect the dots, I was like, okay. So I started simply to accept. And so when I feel that I have energy, I start doing things. And when I feel I don't, then I just rest. My productivity didn't decrease. It's the same. A year ago I said that my productivity increased when I started doing less. True. Now my productivity is still the same, while I'm spending half of my days doing nothing because there's nothing I can do. That's it. I accept. And the thing is, when I try to fight it, it will only get worse and last longer. When I accept, it passes. Resistance is futile. You probably know the Borg from Star Trek. It's Star Trek Next Generation. Oh yeah, and Voyager, then called it the Borg. So yeah, resistance is futile. You're only making things worse for yourself by making it harder on your body and suffering more, and also making it last longer, so suffering longer. So more suffering in intensity but also in length. So being smart is just listening to your body, just doing nothing. Hey, that's one you didn't expect to hear ever, probably in your life. The smartest thing for you is to do nothing when you feel like this, of course. But if you take that part out, the smartest thing for you is to do nothing. That sounds like way! And actually that's when you're the most productive. When you get to be the most productive, when you do nothing, just allow things to happen, and before you know it, you're back to your power and you can do things. And then you're sharp, like I'm doing this video now, and I'm fine. It's, what is it? It's almost 10 o'clock in the evening. I listened to multiple interviews today, most of them brand new, actually somewhere literally published today, or in a webinar today. And I got all this information and I felt like, okay, I'm gonna do this video. And I had in the past few weeks days where I could really not absorb anything. It was just like, no, no, no. It was like, I had to be like this. And then today I really took in so much information, and I will be sharing some links in the comments of a few beautiful things. The webinar, I don't know, I'll probably edit a little bit later on. But if you follow me on Facebook, you go to the intuitiv.me group. I will be posting there the different things I've been watching today. So also the replay of the webinar as soon as it's available. And especially the start of it is brilliant. It's also talking about all these transformations, and then the second part of it about the relationships and stuff. And I managed to absorb all this. And in the meanwhile, I was still communicating with people, like sharing and getting more new information from people. I mean, yeah, and you can see it's going well. But in the morning when I got up, I just felt, or actually afternoon, when I got up around midday, 12:30 or something like that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna fill my bath and have a meditation, a long meditation. In the end, I had a meditation of 2 hours. Listened to the gene keys and then to one gene key, and then I had a lot of contemplation happening. I just rested, just let things happen, and then my body was finished, whatever it had to do, and then I could get out and have my walk and start doing things and start absorbing new information. And so it's really about listening. And I would like to share with you something. See it on screen here. This is from Jason Estes. I will share an interview of him where he talks about certain things, and some stuff may be ahead of what you're prepared for, but that's fine. Just listen. You'll absorb whatever you need to absorb. It's like even with my videos, you just pick up and take from it what you need. So here you see how the whole month of June is full of stuff happening in our bodies, all physical stuff, and we have had emotional and spiritual and mental stuff in the past 12 months, but now it's like the body, and that's why we're physically exhausted. We may still be able to use our brain, but physically we're exhausted. So I will share with you now some of the things that I got from a few friends of mine. So point one we tackled. Yes, oppression. There has been a lot of oppression going on. The male oppressing the female. Oppression, right? Not suppression. Yeah, oppression. Suppression is when you just delete everything. Oppression is when you put pressure on top. Yeah, I translated very quickly from Dutch, so I was not sure about if I chose the right word. Onderdrukking. Unterdrückung in German. There has been a lot of oppression going on. Racial, sexual, gender related, religious, plenty of it. Most religions are basically oppressing a gender or oppressing a group or oppressing the whole population. But telling them that they were born sinners and only God can free them, or Jesus can free them, or whoever they choose. I mean, there's a lot of oppression going there. And then we've seen how the male oppressed the female, and in such a way that even women start to oppress their own female side and became like half men, or some of them became really very male in their behavior. That was the only way for them to fight the man in society, or to get on top, to get to the top in the company or in politics or whatever it is, or even within the family. And then we saw also that recently men started to discover their own feminine side, and which also had been oppressing a long time, which meant that men had lost their empathy, had lost the ability to actually experience and express their emotions, except for fear-based emotions, which generally is anger and rage. Yes, when somebody is really angry and raging and it becomes aggressive, it's basically because he's scared. I mean, when does a dog bite you? When he's in fear. When he fears for his life, he attacks you. Why do little dogs bark so much? Because they're so tiny. So they're scared. You come like huge being in front of them and boof, 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 because their ears are much more sensitive than ours, and they're standing with their bare feet on the ground. So when we walk, they feel the vibration. So it's like huge monsters coming to them. So of course they get scared. And that's how we have been behaving a lot, especially the men. That's why there has been so much war in the world. The male energy has been ruling, and when you combine male energy with fear energy, you get shit. You get war. You get conflict. How many countries do you know were ruled by women that started a war? Please name them in the comments. And also, if you know one, try to sense for a moment and then write it out also if that woman was in a male or in a female energy. I'm not saying that a woman who's dressing very sexy is suddenly feminine. No, a woman can be very much in the male energy and use her sexuality to dominate other men and women. So I'm looking for, who do you know who's in contact with his feminine side and is aggressive, is oppressing, and is dominant? And I cannot name any woman. Not in my private life, not in the family, not in politics, no. And so what you have seen is that a lot of men started to get in contact with their female side, and you see them changing. And from personal experience, I can say, I mean, looking at myself, my whole sexuality changed. And we'll talk about this in another video. But one simple example is that the man who is not in touch with his feminine side may most probably look at a woman as an object to fuck. Yeah, and if you're a man and you're saying this is not true, prove it to me. Prove it to the women in your life. And this behavior is the behavior that comes from the limbic mind. This is the very basic instinct behavior. This is how animals behave to reproduce so that their race or their group stays alive, survives. Men who get in touch with their feminine side start to see women, I mean I'm talking about heterosexual men, they start to see women as a human being who may look very beautiful, who may be very sexy, who may be very loving and caring, but they don't immediately feel the need to get sexually involved with a woman. Because sexuality becomes something else. It doesn't become a hunger, a need that's driven somewhere from very deep. Like, I have to. It becomes another way of interacting on a very intimate way. So even the sexual act itself will change. From, oh, I need to get as deep as I can and as hard as I can and have my orgasm and ejaculate as much as I can. And it's all about the man leaving his DNA in the woman so that he's sure that his lineage will continue. But this changes, and that whole aspect becomes less relevant. There's no need for each man to have 1 or 2 children, or each woman to have 1 or 2 children, because women can also behave the same way, but then in a slightly differently, but still they want this man who will make sure that his wife and his children, so basically his family, will survive and has a future. So that's why a lot of men are looking at rich men, because they believe that a rich guy will guarantee their survival and survival of the children and have the best future for them, not realizing that, because they're too much in the limbic mind, that these rich men who can get all kind of women will be fucking around maybe. So looking for a rich guy who's good looking is maybe asking for problems. But you see these dynamics and you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is one change that started to happen. And all the changes that are happening, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, they're all connected. And this is how we are changing on the inside, but because of that, society is changing too. And yes, it's chaos on earth now. And you may say okay, you're describing a certain change, but I don't see that. I see shit when I look out of my window or when I look at the news. Okay, stop watching the news, because it's a lot of lies, it's a lot of propaganda, and they only show you what they want you to see, because the news is controlled by just a few people. If you check, you just do a little bit of Googling, you can see which news channel is owned by whom, and then who's owning that, and then you go up and you see it's just a few people owning everything. For example, they were talking about Seattle, end of the world in Seattle. I speak to people who actually live in Seattle. Like, the images on the news, they're not from Seattle, they're from even another state, not just another city. And there's not much going on. It's like a small group and there's some people who are doing this and that, but it's not what they're describing. So there's a lot of false information out there. But your transformation makes it possible for you to see, to feel, to hear, whatever sense, in whatever shape it comes to you, you can know what is true, what is false. You know it when you connect through here. Connect with your body, with your heart, connect with your soul. That's when your third eye opens, when your crown chakra opens, for those who know the chakras. That's when you start to see what's really happening, when you read between the lines, when you hear between the sentences, or when you simply get knowledge. You just suddenly know something. And then if you open this chakra, you may start to share this with the world, like I'm doing. I had trouble sharing back in the days because this chakra was blocked. Once it got unblocked, stuff started to come. And slowly it became more fluent. Let me see if there's more besides weird oppression. Yeah, the oppression, it's very interesting. The oppression is preventing the spirit to really be embodied. So I felt to really say it like this because I talked about it already in the past 10 minutes, more or less, but I want you to realize this. Otherwise you scroll back and you listen again. Yeah, somebody wrote something, and yes, one of the changes that is happening is also quality versus quantity. The old system was about a lot of quantity, and then you'll be okay. Work hard, you make a lot of money. Most of us know by now that that is not true. The quality of your work is high. That's when you reach higher productivity and you may earn more money or get more results or whatever thing that you want to achieve. It's not just about quantity of work, how hard you work, how many hours. I mean, certain countries, the productivity was much higher while people were having more holidays. Look at Google. Google was a company which embodied the change very early. Just Google it. Google allows its personnel to have a lot of free time and play games and interact with each other because they know that's how productivity increases in the end. Through spontaneous ideas, brainstorming and stuff like that, but I will not go into details. Just Google it. You'll find it. So, what was the other point I wanted to share? So basically, it's figuring out how to work in conjunction with your body rhythm. That is what I recommend you to do now in order to deal with this for the coming month. I mean, during June at least. And from the webinar that we were sharing, the guy there said that the coming 6 months will be even more intense. I have no idea what he means, but don't be alarmed. You only get in your path what you can handle, and everything we've been going through till now was there to prepare us for the next step, and that step is preparing us for the one after that. And I personally believe that this is why, already for a few years now, the number of people predicting the future has dramatically decreased. Even I was able to see images from the future, to know where things are heading. And also for me this went away. Maybe I can see ahead like a few hours, a few days maybe, but I cannot see long term anymore. This can be explained two ways. One is that the future is very uncertain. We are at this point where it can go any direction. And that's why it's so important that we are very, very, very conscious of what we do all day long. Be very conscious where we put our energy. People would say you need to be conscious who you vote for. Well, today voting, you vote for one puppet or for the other puppet, doesn't really matter. They're just having different labels, but in the end, they're doing the same shit. They just painted a different color. But when it comes to your own decisions, to who you interact with, how you interact with people, decisions you take regarding actions you take, that is going to shape your future. It all starts within you. Second reason, and there's a high chance they go together. Second reason is that if we would see images from even next year, we will probably freak out. But getting there gradually, we will adapt. So seeing pictures from a few years to the future, being good stuff or nasty shit, would still be too much for us to handle, to process. People have been talking about free energy already for years. People have been saying that Tesla was working on that. But hey, the energy industry doesn't want that. But at a certain moment, so many people will have the knowledge that it's unstoppable, and simply it will start to happen. We've seen that with a lot of things. Like information was limited to the few, and they could control it, and that's how they would control the masses. That's how the Nazis, for example, made people believe certain things, because television was new and there was only one channel, and so they would show images, put some voice on it, and people would believe that that really happened. Of course, they saw it with their own eyes, so they believed it. And that's still what most of us are doing. Our bodies don't know the difference between what's true, what's false. I mean, when we just watch a movie, we watch a video, we don't know if it's true or false. Our intuition can tell us. Deep inside we can feel. But if you're not connected, you cannot see. So, seeing those images does not benefit us. It's also contrary to the living in the here and now. Living in the here and now is exactly what I have been describing earlier on how to deal with these energy fluctuations. Living in the here and now is also what all the wise people have been telling us to do in order to open our minds, to open our hearts, to make the connection with spirit, or simply to connect with another human being in front of you. So, this is why we're not allowed to see too much in the future. And even if somebody's telling you where things are heading, those are general ideas. And that may be one possible reality. But as you know, science already has proven it, the multiverse exists. So different realities are being created each moment of the day. There's no use in focusing on what may possibly happen in the future. Start focusing on the here and now. Take those decisions wisely. And of course, I still do recommend, do not take a decision today that will bite you in the butt tomorrow, or that may bite you in the butt tomorrow. Listen to this, and then you know if that decision may harm you or not in the long term. If you take every decision from here, if you listen to your body, you will get through this the most possible smooth way. So relax, stop fighting, resistance is futile, go with the flow, start to ride the wave of your life. If you need help with that, I'm recording every 5-6 days a video on how to ride the wave of your life, which talks about the energy at play for the coming 5 to 6 days. So go to my Patreon, watch the introduction video, and you'll understand. Start doing this. Start being in the here and now. Listen. I guarantee you it will improve your life. Stop fighting. Stop resisting. Relax. Go with the flow. I hope this video helped. I hope it's educative for you. I decided to record a meditation separately. If I will not do this today, I will simply link the global meditation I did about a month or two ago, which was really powerful. And I guess that if I would have decided to record a meditation in the video itself, it would have been a very similar one. So this meditation is still very related to what's going on, and it will help you to really find your balance more easily. If you have questions, feel free to post them. If you have comments, feel free to post them. If you want to add something, feel free to post. And see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever it is that's coming for you. See you soon. Like, subscribe, and share.